Welcome to another Jewelry Designer Manager tip. This tip, we're going to focus on the importance of specificity when setting up your jewelry parts. So let's go into the Jewelry Parts menu. Remember, I can go in from this button here or up here on the top menu. And we're going to focus on this first piece of information about your jewelry parts. Let's add a new part. Everything goes into a category in Jewelry Designer Manager, so you will have set up your categories. So here we have beads chain finding. Let's do a finding, okay? And let's call this finding lobster claw. Now, you probably purchase a lot of different kinds of lobster claws, or at least a few different types of lobster claws for making your jewelry. A good design strategy is to use as few different components as possible so that you can use them in a lot of different designs and reduce the amount of inventory you need to buy. But you still probably end up with a couple of different lobster claws, and it's really important, and this is this thing we're going to talk about specificity, that you use a different part name and description for each different type of lobster claw. So if everything's called lobster claw and you've got 3 different kinds of lobster claws, then it's going to be difficult to know which one is which, right? So the first thing you might want to do is add a size. So let's say this one is 33 millimeters. Now this is important because sometimes people will want to put their 31 millimeter, their 33 millimeter, and their 35 millimeter lobster claws all in the same bin, but that's not considered good inventory control. So make sure that you keep them separate. So this is a lobster claw, 33 millimeter, and now does it have a ring at the bottom or not? Let's say this one has a ring. And is it silver, or is it stainless, or is it gold? And if it's gold, is it 14 karat gold or is it 18 karat gold? Well, let's say it's 14 karat gold. Is that yellow gold or pink gold or green gold or white gold? Let's say that's a yellow gold. So it's a 33 millimeter, 14 karat yellow gold lobster claw with a ring. And you could just take that part name and copy it over into your description if you wanted to, or you could make the description a little bit more explanatory. But it's really, really useful to make sure that you can identify each part very quickly with a naming convention like the one we just went through. So your next part for the same lobster claw might be lobster claw 35 millimeter with ring 14 karat yellow. Or it might be lobster claw 33 millimeter with ring, just like this one, but it's 14 kW for 14 karat white. Now here we're going to put the size again, 33 millimeter, and the shape, let's say that it's more oval. Sometimes you won't have a shape, but many times you will. And the color is yellow for yellow gold, or some people like to do an abbreviation like YG, but this is a yellow gold. And then let's just say it's 1.2 grams. So that goes right here. Now, if you have another lobster claw that's very, very close in size and you truly use it interchangeably, say it's one that you buy from Rio and one that you buy from Fire Mountain, and they're almost identical and you really don't care which one you use when you reach into the bin, then it's conceivable that you could include those 2 slightly different lobster claws in this part ID. But except in cases like that, it's very important to keep each component distinctly separate from every other component in your inventory. This will help you make your costs clearer. It will help you control your inventory better. It will keep you from making mistakes when you're making a part, because the last thing you want to do is have a customer come back and say, this doesn't look like the one on your website, the clasp looked a little different, or for somebody to come up to your booth at a trunk event and say, the ones you had last time looked better and you realized that this lobster claw is a little bit different. So that's what this tip is all about, making sure that each of your parts are very distinctly identified in the system so that you can do a better job of managing your inventory, your costs, and your brand presentation. We hope you enjoyed this tip.